The Softube Summit Audio Grand Channel is a combination of the EQF100 full-range equalizer and the TLA100 tube leveling amplifier or compressor. This software is a digital emulation or model of the analog hardware compressor and equalizer from Summit Audio. This software comes in RTAS, Audio Suite, VST, VST3, AAX Native, and AAX DSP plugin formats. I'm going to be using it inside of Pro Tools today as the RTAS version, but depending on your DAW, there are plenty of formats that are available. I'll demonstrate the sound, features, and controls of the plugin by processing an electric guitar rhythm track. I've got the plugin in bypass to begin with, so I'll play you back what the rhythm guitar track sounds like without any processing. There are two things that I notice when I'm listening to what the electric guitar sounds like raw or without any processing. The first is that the dynamic range or amplitude of the signal is a little bit all over the place. I'm going to be using the compressor to kind of fix this problem. Next thing that I notice is that the low to low mid frequencies are a little bit muddy. When I mix this electric guitar in with a full mix that has drums and bass guitar, having too much energy in this rhythm guitar track is going to clutter up my mix. So what I'm going to do is use the equalizer to back off some of the low and low mid frequencies and also look for higher frequencies that I can boost to bring out the sound of the electric guitar. So when you're using this plugin and these two components, you have the option of whether you want the compressor to process the signal first and then the equalizer, or if you want the equalizer to process the signal first and then the compressor. I'm going to be using it as compressor first before EQ, rather than the EQ before compressor. So what I'm going to do is demonstrate the basic controls of the compressor. The TLA100, when you first look at it, seems like it's pretty similar to an LA2A style compressor if you've ever seen that before. You have a big knob on the right for gain reduction. You have a big knob on the left for makeup gain. What I'm going to do is play you back the sound of the rhythm guitar and then bring up the gain reduction until I hear the amplitude of the signal kind of level out and be kind of constant in the mix. You know, for this rhythm guitar track, I want it to sit back in my mix, but I want the level to be basically the same throughout the whole track. So that's what the compressor is going to accomplish for me. So the metering here for the compressor, you're looking at the gain reduction, but then if you look up here for the metering in the EQ section, you get a master input and master output. What you can do is use the makeup gain to kind of level out so that your input and output is basically the same. The next thing I'm going to do then is move on to the EQ section and see if I can carve out some of those problem frequencies. There are several controls. It's basically a 4-band EQ, but then you also have high pass and low pass filters. What I'm going to do is start out with a low pass filter, see how much I can clean up in that really low frequencies, take out some of the rumble and the excess low end that I really don't need. So I think I can get away going all the way up to 82 hertz. One thing I noticed about the filters in even each band of the equalizer is that these filters, the slopes are very smooth and very musical, and so don't be afraid to boost or cut even 5 to 10 dB of gain, and worry about things like ringing. With these filters, you can boost a fair amount, and it still sounds great. The next thing I'm going to do is use the low pass filter to take off a little bit of that excess high end that I really don't need with the electric guitar. So 8.2 sound a little dark. I'm going to go ahead and use 12K. Next thing I'm going to do is look for a low mid frequency that I can scoop out using a bell filter. So that's what I'm going to do here, is switch this over. Right now it's at shelving for the lowest frequency band. I'm going to switch it over to bell. I'm going to start out by boosting. And then what I'm going to do is, after I find the frequency that I don't like, then I'm going to switch it over to cut. I have the bandwidth set on as narrow as possible, and then if you would go up to 10, that would be as broad as possible. So I'm going to keep it as narrow as possible to really scoop that frequency out. Next, I'm going to look for some higher frequencies that I can boost to bring out the character of the sound. So that was one of my bell filters in the middle frequencies. I'm going to use the other one now, which is here. A little bit broader bandwidth. Finally, add a little bit of top end with a shelf, and see if I can really bring out some of the clarity. So let me bypass it now and kick it back in so you can see what I've done.